Hello lovely internet friends, my name is Megan. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing well. Today I'm here with a cumulative, I can't say that word, book haul. I haven't really done any book hauls on my channel at all in 2020. I think I filmed one or two unboxings and that's pretty much it. So I'm here with, I think there's 25 books that I have here that I recently have purchased. A lot of them are adult romances. I have a little bit of YA and adult fantasy and a few YA contemporaries. My channel is kind of shifting from YA more to adult, specifically romance, although I still really enjoy the occasional YA novel. So I'm not going to make a bigger introduction. I will leave timestamps down below to each section of the haul. If you guys are not interested in romance or whatever, you can skip it. But I will be starting with my adult and YA titles that are not romance and finish with the romance section because it is bigger. The first book I have to talk about is Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. I'm definitely late on this bandwagon, but I am so excited for this one. This is an adult thriller. I feel like Riley Sager is a really known author, especially, I guess he only writes thrillers. This one follows a main character named Jules, and Jules is kind of down on her luck. She's kind of penniless and broke, and life's not going too well until she finds this advertisement for a job as an apartment sitter in this really big, like, beautiful apartment complex. She takes the job, and at first everything seems to go wonderfully. There are a lot of rules, like you can't not sleep in the apartment at night, you can't bring people over, all that kind of thing, but I guess she just takes the job anyways. But mysterious things start happening, and she starts being really suspicious when one of the other apartment sitters or someone else who lives in the apartment complex actually goes missing. I don't know if there's supernatural elements in this one. I kind of grasped that from what other people on BookTube were saying, but nonetheless I'm really excited for this one and hopefully it is thrilling. The next book I have is really based on a recommendation from Gabby Reads, and that is The One by John Mars. I basically heard of this author through Gabby, and also I know that, as this sticker that I have not taken off yet says, this show will be coming to Netflix, like a show adaptation of The One. This is kind of like a dystopian thriller where in this world there is this company that can help you find the one. It is made with DNA, and it kind of tests your DNA and matches you with someone else, and it's been going on and a bunch of people have been using it. I believe like millions of people have, and this story centers around 5 people who will be finding their match, but not everything is as it seems. Like, I think some people in these matches are suspicious and keeping secrets, so it's kind of like a thriller, and it's also kind of in a dystopian world. That was hard to say. So I'm very excited for this. Gabby really loved it, and if I'm not mistaken, even people as Kayla from Books and Lala have read and enjoyed this one, if I'm thinking of the right person. So really anticipating reading this one. Then we have a BookTube favorite, and that is The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. I feel like it has taken BookTube by storm. Everybody in the Mid-Year Freakout tag is talking about this one. I have yet to read it, but I'm really excited about it. This is kind of an adult fantasy where the premise of this is that we follow a 40-year-old man who is kind of like a social worker for a mystical world where there are children with like magical powers, or I don't know, I think that's what it is, and they're all very kind of mysterious, and some of them are considered deranged because of their powers. The story really takes off when this man, who doesn't really have any friends, is asked by his work to go to this specific orphanage and create a report on the children there. They are deemed to be some of the most dangerous children. This follows him and the lessons he learns and his interactions with the people in the orphanage, and I believe there is a story of, like a romance story between our main character and the owner of the orphanage. Everybody says this is a beautiful book, that it made them feel all sorts of emotions, so I cannot wait to feel them myself, and the cover is absolutely gorgeous. Now on to the 2 YA contemporaries I'm going to be talking about. One of them is Time of Our Lives by Emily Webberly and Austin Sigmund Broca. I cannot wait to read this one. They are the author combination that wrote If I'm Being Honest and the other one that I didn't really like that I'm blanking on, but they have 2 other books before this one. I adored If I'm Being Honest. Didn't really like their first novel, but really excited for this one. This is a story of our 2 main characters. I'm not sure if this is double POV or not, But what happens in the story is that they are both touring for colleges, and one of the main characters kind of wants to stay home, doesn't really want to go away for college because I feel like they have responsibilities towards family. I believe a family member might be sick or something of the sorts. And we have another main character who has a very good home life, but he kind of wants to get away and move away for college. They both interact with each other, and I guess they fall in love on the college tour and maybe learn a little bit about themselves on the way. And the other YA contemporary novel that I have is Camp by L.C. Rawson. He is the author of Jack of Hearts and Other Parts, which a lot of people have loved. This is a LGBTQ novel where one of our main characters is going to a kind of gay summer camp, and he has been going for a while. I believe he crushes on this boy, but he's not usually this specific boy's type, so he's changing himself in order to appeal to him. I guess he's going to learn on the way, maybe fall in love with someone else. I just really cannot wait for this. Anything that has to do with like a camp or camping or summer, I really enjoy, so this is a combination of a lot of things I really love, plus LGBTQ rep, so I hope it does not disappoint. The cover is also really fun in this one. I really love the cover. I don't know under there. Oh, it's yellow and red. I like this. Clearly I like yellow, so. Then I have a stack of YA fantasy and one more adult fantasy book that I forgot to mention. The first book I want to talk about is Woven in Midlight by Isabel Ibanez. I'm never sure how to pronounce that author's last name, even though I've heard it countless times. This is the first in a series, and the cover itself is beautiful and kind of what like brought me into this book, because I'm not usually a big fantasy reader, but I really stuck out this book and really wanted to purchase it because it's Bolivian like folklore that have inspired this story, and it looks like a beautiful novel. I'm not too sure what it's about. I believe the premise is that our main character is kind of the fill-in for this princess or someone of importance, and she has to go, and I'm not even sure if that's it, but that's kind of what I've heard, and she takes the princess's place to save her because it could be in a dangerous situation, or marriage, one of the two. Well, marriage in these stories can be very dangerous as well, and she also has powers to weave in moonlight, I guess. That's all I know from it. It's really the cover and the good reviews and like the Bolivian aspect of it that really intrigued me with this one. Then we have the book that everybody on BookTube has purchased and almost nobody has liked. That is The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. This is the prequel to The Hunger Games, where we follow President Snow when he was younger. Some people really enjoyed this, some people absolutely hated it, and some people are kind of middle of the road. I haven't seen a book so polarizing in the BookTube community in a while, in the sense that everybody has differences in their reviews. Hopefully I like this. I'm not too picky when it comes to The Hunger Games or fantasy / dystopian books as a genre itself, so maybe I will be more inclined to like this one. It is pretty hefty. I will need to refresh my memory a little bit on The Hunger Games before I read this one, but I'm not planning on rereading the entire trilogy before I pick this one up. Hopefully it will be sooner rather than later, because there's so many vlogs I want to watch of people discussing this book. Then we have one I've been anticipating for a long time, and that is The Betrothed by Kira Cass. She is the author of the selection. First of all, this color of the cover and the cover itself are absolutely stunning. So like the selection, this one actually has to do with royalty, and I cannot wait for this. This is actually very thin. I think it's the first in a series. Hopefully it is. This follows the story of Hollis, who is the daughter of nobility. She lives in this castle with other daughters of nobility as well. All of them hope to catch the eye of the prince, obviously to become king. And in the story, it turns out our main character has caught the eye of the prince. She's shocked, but also very happy about it. They go along their way, and she, with time, kind of realizes maybe she doesn't have what it takes to be a princess and then a queen, and so I believe she makes it her mission to actually show the people involved in this that she is. But along the way she meets a stranger in this town and maybe falls in love with that stranger, so she's kind of supposed to be marrying a soon-to-be king, and then falls in love with a, I guess it's going to be a villager or something of the sorts. It's, you know, typical royalty kind of timeline, but I'm really going to enjoy this, I hope. I love Kira Cass's writing. It's so bingeable. I love the selection series, so hopefully this stands up to the hype I have in my head. And then another book I'm super excited about is All the Stars and Teeth by Adeline Grace. I wanted this because it's basically a pirate story, and I feel like we don't get enough of those in YA or adult fantasy books. I love everything pirate. It's one of the only fantasies I will read because for some reason I'm really attracted to stories that have to do with water, whether that be mermaids or pirates. Daughter of the Pirate King is a good example of that. I just think most of them fall flat, but I've heard great things about this one from people I trust, so hopefully I love it. I'm not exactly remembering the premise of this as of now. What I can remember though is that our main character has been training all her life to become this thing that's important in the world, and she has to go through a trial to prove that she is capable. I believe she fails this trial, and in order to redeem herself she has to go on this quest where there is a pirate, a princess, a stowaway, a mermaid, and kind of they become the crew of the ship, I'm guessing. I am really excited for this. I just know there's pirates and I just know I'm on board, no pun intended. And the last one, which was the adult fantasy I forgot to mention, is a pretty chunky one, and I'm kind of scared of reading it, and that is The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. I don't usually read books that can harm people physically, you know. This is really, like, I don't even know how you're supposed to hold this book. Oh, it's so floppy. Maybe I do know how. Look at this, you guys. Anywho, all I know is that the people that I love the most on BookTube, like Olivia from Olivia Reads a Latte, have read and adored this book. Everybody says, like, yes, it looks chunky, but it goes by really fast. And this is not a series, it's just a standalone book. I believe there are female romances in here and dragons, and that's pretty much all I need to know. Now, if you don't like romance or don't care for the rest of this haul that includes just romance books, this is your time to leave. For those of you who enjoy romance, I have a crap ton to show you guys, so let's hop on in. The first two are actually diving into a genre of romance that I haven't before. They are also part of a series, and that is and that is The Reluctant Royals by Alyssa Cole. I'm still waiting on the first one because it was backorder on Amazon. I think because of the blackout publishing movement, a lot of people were picking up books by black authors, including this one. But the second book is A Duke by Default, and the third, A Princess on Paper. These are historical romances that I've heard a lot of people start with these books, and books by Tessa Dare. I don't know too much about them, but these are all in New York City, and I cannot wait for these. These look really fun. They're not super long either, so I think I'm really going to enjoy myself. I have purchased a lot of indie romances as well. I'm focusing a lot on encouraging people who don't really go necessarily with publishers and like are indie published on Amazon and that kind of thing. I have this one called The Girl in the Love Song by Emma Scott, which I've heard a lot about Emma Scott, but I've never read one of her books. I specifically chose this one because it has to do with one of my favorite tropes, which are kind of like celebrity romances when one person is famous and the other person is not. This follows a main character who is down in his luck. He's had a hard childhood, but he's doing everything he can to support his mother. At age 13, I cannot say that number for the life of me, excuse me, I'm French. He meets this girl called Violet, and she kind of steals her heart, and he falls in love at a very young age. I believe that they kind of move on, and then something happens to their relationship. He writes songs about her. I don't think she realizes it, and then they kind of rekindle in some way. That's what I understand from this, and I'm really excited to read this. I think I'm going to really like this, and hopefully I love Emma Scott's writing because she does have a lot of published books. The next book I have is A Girl Like Her by Talia Hibbert, which is Ravenwood's book 1. This is a series of companion novels. There's 3 in the series, I believe. This is the first one, and this follows a main character called Ruth, who doesn't really like people, and it turns out people don't really like her. She's very snarky, she's kind of sad, and she likes to be on her own, really loves comic books, and that's the way her life goes. There's only one exception to the people not really liking her rule, and that is her next door neighbor. He's ex-military, and he's very kind of swoony in Ruth's opinion, and I believe that that man is trying to woo Ruth, so I think this is going to be kind of like a I don't want to date anyone, but then she falls in love with her next door neighbor kind of story. Again, author of color. I love Talia Hibbert ever since I read Get a Life, Chloe Brown, so I got more of her books. The next book I have is The Kingmaker by Kennedy Ryan. Again, an author of color. If you guys are interested in reading by more diverse authors, this is a good way to go if you guys love romance. This I specifically bought because of Jess from Peace Love Books. Every time I read the synopses, I'm kind of confused. This has to do with a man whose family kind of has it all. They're very much in power. He wants nothing to do with it, so he's kind of like the black sheep of their family. He goes on to build his own empire. He meets this girl, and I don't really know what happens, but this is like a duology, and I cannot wait to read it. It looks very steamy and very pretty on the inside too. Like the separates. I don't know if they're like the chapters. Yeah, like they have like beautiful black pages to start the chapter. I just like the aesthetics of this book. Then we have The Chase by Elle Kennedy. It's the first in the Priory series. This is a spin-off on the Off-Campus series with hockey romances, I believe. I don't really remember what this one specifically is about. Yeah, I really don't know, but I've been eyeing these series for a long time, and when they go on sale on Amazon, I try to pick them up because indie romances can be expensive, but everything I've purchased were on sale, so Elle Kennedy is pretty well known in the romance genre, so I wanted to try a few of her books. The next one I have is Blockshot by Kennedy Ryan again, and this is the second book in the Hoop series. I don't have the first one yet. I'm waiting for them to fall on sale. This one was actually on sale, which is why I picked it up. You can read them out of order though, so it's not that bad if I want to pick this one up first. It just follows people in the same series. This is a basketball romance series. This one actually follows the manager of the basketball team and a girl he kind of had a one-night history with. He broke her heart, and now he's trying to kind of get her back, but she's not wanting to risk it again. He is the agent, and I believe she is also in the basketball field. I don't know exactly what she does as work, but they are interconnected, and I guess that's how they rekindle their relationship. I'm sorry if the angle changed, but I realized while editing that the video stopped recording when I was on my final two books, so we're going to talk about them now. The second to last book I have to haul is The Guy on the Right by Kate Stewart. I cannot wait to read this book. This is again part of a companion novel series. It is up to 3 books now. There might be more coming out. I'm not really sure. This one follows a boy named Theodore who used to want to be called Theo. The most he could get away with was Teddy while in high school, and he was kind of like part of the marching band and just more kind of on the geeky nerdy side, not like a big football player and all that sorts. So he wasn't as popular, and when he got to college, it was kind of a fresh start for him. He got people to call him Theo, and he made a different way for him. He got his sight on a girl, and I believe either they're like seeing each other or something of the sorts, until he realizes that his very popular football roommate that is also very handsome kind of has his eye on her as well, and he will do whatever it takes to get the girl and keep her. So I think this is going to be a very cute, swoony romance, and I cannot wait to read from this protagonist's point of view. I don't know if it's dual perspective. Yes it is, and I really am anticipating reading from Theo's perspective. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And the last book I have to talk about is The Deal by Elle Kennedy. As I mentioned in this haul previously, I hauled The Chase, which was the first book in the Priory series, which is actually a spin-off of this series, The Deal being the first one. This is the Off-Campus series, again a series of companion novels. This one follows Hannah and Garrett. The book is called The Deal because the basic premise of this novel is that Hannah is really good in school, and she's trying to get this guy to like her and I guess notice her. So she strikes a deal with the hockey captain of the, I guess it's the college, because his GPA is actually going down the drain and he needs to be tutored. Hannah's very smart. So they make this deal that Hannah will tutor him if the hockey player Garrett will actually fake date her so that she can grab the attention of this boy she's been trying to get together with. And I believe Garrett, after they hook up, realizes he actually wants to be with her, and so it's him trying to make her change her mind and make Hannah want to date Garrett instead of the boy she originally intended to be with. I cannot wait for this. I really enjoy sports romances, and everybody hypes up this book, so I cannot wait. These are like new adult books, and obviously they are a little bit more steamy, so be cautious. Like a lot of the other books, they will probably have a little bit of more explicit scenes than YA novels would. So yeah, that is my haul. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know down below if you've participated in the Blackout Publishing day where you would buy books from Black authors to try to make it so that they would grow in popularity, and I believe the intent was to make them like go on the New York Times bestseller list or something of the sorts. I did partake in that, and I purchased a lot of books by Black authors in the last months to make sure I am doing my part and I want to read and review them. It's not enough just to buy them. So let me know if you participated in that, or books you took out from the library, anything you hauled or want to talk about, and I'll see you very soon with another video. Bye guys!